Hey guys, I'm Phil Harris.
And I'm Ashley Harris.
We are Shred MX Conditioning, and we provide online fitness and nutrition coaching, as well as in-person riding clinics for riders and racers from local to pro.
Now, we're racers ourselves, so we'll be talking about all things moto on this channel, from motocross, fitness and nutrition, injury, prevention and maintenance, local races, amateur nationals, pro events, current happenings in the sport, and everything in between. So whether you're on the road or in the garage, turn it up and enjoy.
This is Shred MX Shop Talk. Hey guys, welcome back. We're here with episode 15. Gonna give you a little recap of our race from 62, which we're recording at what, about
a week later.
About a week.
Yeah, good intentions to get these podcasts done like the day after, and sometimes life just happens and we got a lot going on. So
yeah, gets in the way a little bit there, but
right,
it happens. We're making it happen.
Here for it now. So this was actually an AMA state championship race, which is really the reason that I wanted to go. I like doing the bigger races, the bigger events, and pretty cool that it was an indoor state championship.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I feel like Jimmy's really been working hard. He does a good job down there with the track and everything anyways. But I feel like he's been working hard to make it like something more than a local, just like a local race.
Spot.
Yeah, just like hey, it's a spot to go racing on the weekend, like an outlaw series almost.
He's building like a facility.
Yeah, it's he's building a facility inside and out. But I feel like he's really making it like some of the events more prestigious, like that one. He gave away number one plates. They were AMA number one plates, which, those are cool. They kind of hold weight with people. So, it was really neat to see that. And he's doing a good job.
Yeah, so we knew that I had the race written down on our calendar, and we kind of talked about it, and we went and rode there both Saturday and Sunday the weekend before, and that was our first time indoors for this winter season. Been mainly getting
Felt like a fish out of water.
Yeah, been mainly getting to ride outdoors until that time, so I was like, all right, let's go indoors, check it out. Layout was fun. I know you said for sure that you didn't quite feel like you were up to pace yet. Like the intensity indoors is totally different than outside. There's not really any rest. There's not really anywhere to just click up a gear and like be on the gas hard and cruise for a second or two. It's like jump, jump, turn, jump, jump, turn, maybe a quick straight turn, jump, jump, turn. So it's busy, and to find a race pace in there is a different intensity. Yeah,
it's hard. And then also on top of it, there's very little in there that's going to separate you from people.
Yeah.
So it just makes the whole time you're racing people and stuff, especially if you're very similar speed, you're just on top of each other the entire time. So it is, it's almost hectic sometimes.
Yeah, and a big part of it's the start. I mean, they even talk about it with the big pros in Supercross. You got to get a start or it's hard to pass.
Oh, without a doubt.
So again, we rode there the Saturday and Sunday before, and leading up to it, you are kind of really on the fence about it. At one point in time, you were talking about not racing and just going and riding somewhere else. And I'm like, you know what, I'm cool with that. Whatever you decide. I was for racing, but if you didn't want to, I wasn't so much about it that I was like, you got to take me racing, even if you don't want to. I'm never usually like that. But I feel like I kept encouraging it or talking about it. And then we had a couple of friends that were also going to be there racing, and they're like, oh, what time are you going Sunday? And you were like, well, I don't know that we're going yet. So we literally decided to go racing Saturday night at probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, I have a very love-hate relationship with racing sometimes.
Especially indoors.
Yeah, I like riding indoors, and I'm pretty good at riding indoors. But I honestly, a big part of it was I don't have a whole lot of time riding indoors on 450s.
Yeah, because I have your 250 now, so you no longer have a 250 to race or ride indoors. You just have the 450.
Which is what I primarily choose to ride indoors if we are going to do it, or if I have one. But because I have a lot more fun on the 250, because I feel like I can really be on the gas and be aggressive.
And not be running into a wall.
Yeah. On the 450, it's more finesse, but very easy to get out of control because you have so much power. It's you have a ton of power, but you're in a fishbowl.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You're not nearly utilizing the power of that 450. I mean, you guys ride them in the pro class for sure. I love watching it. It's super intense, but I mean, some of the rhythms that you guys can do, you're like jumping a whole section in 2 jumps.
Yeah. It makes it tough because I don't know, there's not a lot of separator because of that on the 450s. Like, yeah, it's like once you get the bigger lines down, and yeah, some of the, especially there, like some of the sections are shorter, so it's like, yeah, you're jump in, jump out, and you're through the whole section. So
Yeah. So that definitely led to some, I feel like, it was just like you were unsure about wanting to go. And then at one point in time, you said to me too, you were like, well, I feel like I should go because I feel like I should go try to make some money. And I like immediately was like, no, like if you make money racing, it's for fun. And it's money that you can spend like on just whatever you want. But
yeah,
you
this
should,
isn't my job.
right, like it's not your job. Never look at racing like, oh, I gotta go make money, because that immediately will suck the fun out of it quicker than anything else. So like,
Yeah,
I
puts
was
a lot
like,
of pressure on it.
right, I was like, if that's how you feel, like we're for sure not going. So like, shut that down early. That was earlier in the week, but then yeah, Saturday we.
Yeah, I think I told you on like Monday or Tuesday that I'd probably change my mind 37 times.
And you did.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was pretty much ready to go race in, but up, to do whatever you wanted to do. So I think maybe between me and like some of our friends, like just telling you to show up and get out of your own way and be there, like you were like, okay, let's go racing.
Yeah, I was struggling with the track a little bit because I knew what like some of the faster lines were, and I hadn't like really done them leading into the race weekend. So I was had that a little bit in the back of my mind, but trying not to like think about it. Was trying to just go out there, and if anything, at the end of the day, I was just gonna do my lines and just stick to it. Which I did get one of the sections that I wanted to do that was like the race line, because I kind of just drug myself into it with a couple guys in practice right in front of me, and they did it like 2 laps, and I'm like, you just gotta do this stupid triple double.
Net up and do it.
Yeah. I wish I would have hit both big lines. I had tried the other one once the weekend before and kind of hurt my ankles, and yeah, just kind of sissied out on that one. So I don't think it bit me too much though, because of just the way the line I was running, I was consistent through there. So yeah, it worked out fine.
Yeah, and sometimes big lines aren't always good race lines. Like big lines are impressive, they're flashy, just like throwing big whips, but that's not always the fastest way around the track. So I feel like the lines that you did hit, you utilized very well in racing. So let's get into race day a little bit. Now they didn't start practice, so before usually indoor races are night races. Route 62 does day races, which is cool because you can kind of get in and get out of there. So they started practice on Sunday at 10. We got there around 8 because sign up was at 8:30. So I mean, we had an early start to the day, but so we got there at 8. Practice was at 10, which went pretty smoothly. I mean, like you started getting that other line down that you wanted to get down, started flowing around a little bit, and then Open A was first moto. So we did heats first and then the main. So Open A was the very first heat.
Yeah, typical indoor style racing, even though it was like a day format essentially. Yeah, we just did heat races, and then they had some LCQs, and then we got into mains. But yeah, typical fashion, where first moto of the day, Open A.
Yeah, so to give you all an idea, and this was the heat schedule, Phil was Moto 1, I was 19 for women's, he was then right behind me for Moto 20 for 35 plus, and then I was 28 for 30 plus. So we are super thankful to all of our friends who always find us at the track and help us on the line, because we would be a total crap show without friends.
Yeah.
We're
usually a hot mess anyways at the track anyways, but
yeah, just busy. I mean, we have a lot of races between both of us riding 2 classes. Yeah, so anyways, your Open A heat.
Yeah, I got off to a horrible jump in that. I seen a video of it like not too long ago, and I was sleeping on the gate.
Nerves a little, maybe?
I must have been a little bit of nerves. Usually I'm good at starts, and yeah, not that one. I mean, I came through okay, but then I got stuck with the dude, and it seemed like I couldn't get around him, but everyone else could.
It's like you two were so watching it. It's like you two were so close, and he was trying so hard to stay ahead of you. It left lines open for someone else to like just come in and kind of like sweep around the inside. Or I think at one point in time, it was Tony came up on the inside of you, bumped you, and just kind of came around both of you because like you two were so occupied with each other. It was like it just left the door open for other people. I was getting so frustrated for you.
Yeah, it was frustrating. He ended up going down. Luckily,
Almost took you too.
I know, but fell into the side of me. Luckily, avoided it, and I think I came out with 6th or 7th in the
Yeah, I
heat
think
race.
you were 6th in the heat.
Yeah, and was a little frustrated, but figured we'd figure it out for the main, get a better start, and
Yeah.
stay out of the carnage, hopefully.
Yeah, you kept your mind pretty good there. I know sometimes you'll get down on yourself after that. I know that was just a heat race, so it didn't count for the overall or anything, but like you did pretty good managing that.
Yeah, I wasn't that frustrated with myself because I felt good with my speed. I was just getting like stuck in stupid spots with like the other guy that I was battling with. So
Yeah, and you had speed on him. It's just finding somewhere to pass indoors can be hard.
yeah, very hard.
So then the next heat was women's 419. I got a super good start, super straight out of the gate. Whole shot, led the moto, won, which, I mean, it was an AMA state championship race for AMA number 1 plates. I wanted that number 1 place. So I'm like, let's do it right in the heat race. So that was cool. And 35 plus for you was next. That was the one right after me. So your gate was dropping as I was like coming off the track trying to run over and like
Yeah,
tell you I
that's right.
loved you and have fun.
Yeah. I got a good jump in that one. Mm-hmm. I knew indoors and plus classes, it's a gamble who you have in your class.
It's like the women's class. There's just a very wide range of skill levels.
Yeah. I knew there was like a few guys. I knew some of the guys on the gate, and I knew that they could ride and hold their line and stuff. But there were some guys that I had no idea what they were like on the gate. So I was literally I'm like, get off this starting gate as fast as you can and just run. And I got a good start. And I had Kenny Henry in there with me. And man, we've been racing each other since we started.
You guys have the same birthday, right?
Yeah, we're just a year. I'm a year ahead of him,
I always
but
think
same
that's
birthday.
so funny.
Yeah. So me and him were in there, and I got a good start, and then we battled around for a little while, or for the race, and he just got me in the heat race, but we had a fun little battle.
You guys were back and forth the whole time. I didn't know who was gonna win, but like you'd pull some time on him, he'd catch back up, he'd pass you, you'd pass him back, lappers would get in the way, and then you'd pass him, and one of you guys would get screwed because someone moved over trying to get out. Oh my god, it was just the most fun battle. And I've told you this before, like I know for you that it's frustrating when you're battling with someone like that's at your skill level, and it's like you're both trying super hard. And then, like, for you, I mean, in the heat race, you got bested by him. He beat you in the heat. So I know that's frustrating, but man, it is the coolest racing to watch. Like, at that level, watch you guys just back and forth and, like, super clean racing. You guys never hit each other, nothing. Just, like, really good, clean lines, aggression. Like, it's so, so fun to watch. Like, as a true fan of the sport, that's, like, one of the biggest things I enjoy when you race indoors is watching you battle like that.
Yeah, it is fun. Like trying different lines and passing, going back and forth like that. It is a lot of fun when you're able to do that.
Especially, I'm sure, when it's someone like Kenny, like you know him, you guys are friends, like no, harsh feelings between you guys, like just out there like motoing down together.
Yeah, and we had clean passes. We never got into each other or anything like that. So it was really cool that way. We were just cutting back and forth, and it was a good time.
Yeah, that one was fun to watch for sure. And then I had 30 plus. For the heat, which actually I got a really good start in that too.
Yeah, you rode good in the heat race.
Yeah, I ended up 5th in the heat out of like 8 or 9 dudes, so really stoked. Felt like I rode well, held my own. One of my big goals, so I turned 30 in January of this year, so this year was my first year in the 30 plus class. previously I was running 25 plus, which is basically another pro class. And that's hard for me because like I'm not at your level of riding. Like I wish I was. But the 30 plus seems to have some more like dudes for me to race that I can actually battle with. So like one of my goals is to be competitive in the 30 plus class.
Yeah.
Like, so I was really, really stoked for that, even indoor. So that was a fun one for sure.
Yeah. That was cool. You battled around with those guys really well. You just held your own and you stuck it in there. It was cool to see, and you were riding really well. It's funny you say something about the 25 plus class being fast and stuff. I think we were recently watching, I think it was Mini O's, and those guys said something about the 25 plus class being the secret A class.
Yeah, it is. The A class for old guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Not even old guys. The guys that just turned 25, they want to ride another class on like a 450 or something.
Right.
But yeah, it's a whole nother A class most places you go.
And I feel like riders are getting older, like A riders are getting older, but none of you guys are slowing down. So like now the 35 plus class had you and Kenny Henry running around the front of it. Like
yeah, and then we're riding open pro as well.
Right. Like those poor other dudes. Like,
I know, I feel bad
I
for
know.
the other guys in the 35 plus class.
Yeah.
Sorry, Will Clark.
I was going to say, pro tip.
He's going to yell at me now I called him out.
Right. Pro tip for you guys, if you're at a race with us and there's a 30 and a 35 plus class, I can't run 35, so I'll run 30. Phil's not allowed to race with me because we've done that before and I've had to scoop him off the track. So he's got to run his own moto.
Yeah, if you want to avoid me and you're...
Pick the class I'm in.
Oh, you're 30 or over, go ahead and ride 30 plus. I'm not allowed to ride it.
No, yeah, and we don't race together.
Unless it's Florida stuff.
Yeah.
And that's 25 and 30 for me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
They need to do a 35 plus class.
I would like to do a women's vet class first. Thank you.
Yeah. They could just need to cut out like 2 C classes.
6
Yeah.
C classes.
They can cut it down to like, instead of 10 C classes, we can cut it down to like 8 or something.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to get yelled at. No.
Yeah, so anyways, back to our heat. So with this heats, there was a couple classes that had multiple heats, so then they ran LCQs. All in all, there was 42 heat races, including the LCQs. The divisions and the LCQs, 42. So now we started practice at 10. Practice went through pretty quickly, but now we had 42 heats, divisions, LCQs to get through.
Yeah, it was busy for a big bike race.
Yeah, real busy. I think over 400 riders.
Yeah, because they do the kids
on
Saturday. So it's just big bike classes and stuff on Sunday. And yeah, we still had a pile of us there.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to expect with that many motos we needed to fit in. So I was kind of like, well, we're going to be here for the day. And I mean, we were, but it was 3 o'clock and they finished the last LCQ. And they're like, we're taking a 15-minute intermission, doing a little bit of track maintenance, and then we're going to get right back into mains. Okay, cool. So you were still, Open A was still Moto 1. With some of the divisions, it changed our schedule around a little bit. You were 1. I ended up being 14 for women's. You were still right behind me at 15 and then 21. So a little bit shorter, condensed schedule for the mains, but still a lot to get through. So again, our 15-minute intermission passed and Open A was the first main.
Yep, and I was feeling pretty good about it, and I got a good jump. I actually thought I was going to pull that start. But
You were close.
Yeah, a couple of guys, Levi and another dude just snuck around me going in there. And I come out in third. So I was like, all right, cool, this is gonna be good. And the one dude came up into I didn't know the guy who it was, but he ran up into Levi.
Levi almost went down, like feet off the pegs, almost blew him over the berm.
I thought they were both going down, so I'm like cutting down the berm, like kind of next to him, and I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go. And they like stayed up. Dude rode through Levi. Levi stayed up somehow, but I like got around him, and then we were, the race was on, and it was about, I think we did a lap or close to it. We were like, I think it was a finish line corner. I can't remember exactly. I think it was a finish line corner. Somewhere around there, I got up inside of him and made the pass. It might have been a couple laps in. But
it was a couple laps in, like 2 or 3 laps in maybe, because I was getting really frustrated that you were stuck behind him again, like to the point of saying things that I took a YouTube video and had to block them out on our YouTube video because I was like, yeah, I can't put that in a YouTube video. I was getting frustrated for you again. So anyways, I don't remember exactly. I think it was the finish line.
yeah, I think it was the finish line where I made like a good inside pass and got around him. And then I was like leading and I was feeling pretty good.
You pulled a little gap?
Yeah, I was like going. And then I made a couple like small like bobbles, just like lost the front end a little bit. The track started to break down, get a little bit slick in spots. And we were doing like a 10-lap main. And I know I seen the halfway. We got a little over halfway, I think, into it. And I probably only had like 3 or 4 laps
I think you were like, yeah, like 7 or 8 laps in.
Yeah. And I was flowing around good. And Levi had got to the back of me a little bit. And yeah, we were coming through the whoops, and I heard him there. And I didn't know he was quite that close. And yeah, we made the corner, and he got up into the inside of me a little bit aggressively, and I wasn't prepared for it because I didn't know he was like that close because I could hear him like the whole race, but I was nailing the whoops. I was killing them, and I felt like I hit him good that lap too. And yeah, he just snuck up inside of me, and I wasn't prepared for it. Kind of took the bike right out underneath me. And
yeah, you said like he hit you enough to like kind of rip the bike out of your hands
Yeah.
and put you all the way down. And
yeah, he didn't like T-bone me or anything, but he definitely got up in there pretty aggressively, and he put me on the ground. So I was like bummed about that because I mean, anyone that's raced indoors, you know, as soon as you make a mistake or go down, it's over.
yeah,
Because you
maybe
usually got a
salvage a
train
little.
behind you. Yeah, I got up going, and I think I still got like a 7th or 8th, but it showed 10th, but some scoring got messed up, and by the time we seen it, it was not even
Didn't
worth
really matter.
fixing.
They were paying back to 5 places,
Yeah.
so if it was like a paying position, like sure, like probably argue it,
Yeah,
but it didn't matter.
I knew we had a couple laps or like a few laps left when I got up, and so I just kind of cruised her out.
Now, where he hit you, you were kind of like from where I was standing in the little mechanics tower. I couldn't quite see what happened. Obviously, I seen that you fell and that you guys were close. But like
Yeah.
you got off the track. Of course, I, come trucking it down out of the mechanics tower, and I'm like trying to make it over to where we were pitted in there. And I'm like trying to ask you, like, did he hit you? And at that point in time, I walked up to you and you had all your gear on. Like someone had put your bike on the stand. You're just sitting in a chair, like helmet, goggles, gloves on, not like looking at me, just kind of like looking out into space. So like I asked that question and I don't even think you answered. And I was like, oh yeah, he hit you.
Yeah, he got into me pretty good. I was pretty frustrated, but with that many people, I did pretty good at keeping my cool and keeping it contained, the frustration. But yeah, I just came back, and I don't even remember who grabbed my bike, like Corey or somebody. And I just sat down in the chair and just left my goggles and everything on. And honestly, I just figured that way, like, no one would really talk to me for a few minutes, and I could kind of try to calm down for a second and not freak out. But I was a little frustrated. I was feeling good. I thought I had a good chance of winning that main event. But that's how indoor racing goes sometimes. Levi did come over and talk to me, and we've talked a bunch over the last few years. And
Yeah, you guys have like a respect for each other. You guys don't usually get up into each other or anything.
no,
like...
I mean, we've gotten close and like bumped a little bit at indoor racing, nothing too crazy and stuff. And he did come over and talk to me and tell me he didn't mean to get up into me that aggressively. And it is hard to say, like, because there is no clear video of it because of the way the hay bales and stuff. But I know he got into me and stuff, but I don't know, like, was I initiating the turn down out of the corner as he came up into it?
Right,
so,
like the lines just crossed.
Yeah, like, it might have been a little bit of both of our faults, and he just came in there hotter than expected. It's hard to say, but yeah, he came over and talked to me, and we were cool or whatever. I didn't really...
So, like,
I
right.
just tried to keep my calm and, I don't know, keep the peace. I mean, we're both 36 years old. Like, I don't know.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's just racing.
So that's one thing I wanted to say. Like, I was so impressed and proud of how you handled yourself in that moment. And I know, like you just said, you are both 36, like you're older now. But like, still, I feel like a lot of people would have flown off the handle or been super pissed with him, or he would have come over and tried to apologize, and you could have been, you know, not a very nice guy to him. But like, man, you were just like cool. Like, I could tell you were bummed. I knew you were bummed. Like, obviously, you know, like, to win it was $750. Like, who doesn't want that extra money in their
Yeah, that
pocket?
would have been fucking
But
nice.
like, right, that's not what we went there for. Like, you were safe, healthy. He was, you know, healthy. Like, I was just really impressed because, like, right after it happened and then I found out that he did hit you, I was really mad for a minute. Like, to the point that I had to, like, walk over and go to the bathroom, and he was coming off the podium after his podium speech, and I was like, don't say anything, don't say anything. So, like I just kept walking, and I didn't. And then, like I said, when I came back and was, like, talking to you, I just, like, you handled it super well, because anyone would be pissed at that. Again, not that it was, like, necessarily, like, any particular thing, anyone's fault. It was racing, happens. Like, you know, I was just really proud of you for the way you handled yourself.
Yeah, I also didn't want to, like, I still had to race 35, you know, my 35 race and stuff, and I didn't want to get myself all, like, fired up, and, you know, like, I don't know, like I said, it's racing. Like, when I was younger, yeah, I probably would have been fired up. I probably would have said something dumb, and I don't know. Anymore, it's like, whatever.
Yeah. Levi even said, he's like, I don't like to do that to people I like. So I'm like, that's a plus. At least you know he likes you.
Yeah.
I hate to see what he does to
Yeah.
people he doesn't like.
Right.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah. I even put up a funny post about it and said that I owed him one. So
Yeah, Levi did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I thought that was funny.
you know, you never know. Situation. No.
Little love tap.
Yeah, just give him a little love.
Oh my gosh. So anyways, if we end up at Summit, stay tuned. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so then the next moto for us was my women's class, Moto 14. This one I actually, off the start, kind of like steered into the rut that was after the gate a little bit. Got a little bit like crooked out of the gate. So I was second around the first turn. And man, let me tell you, the first turn was a left-hand turn, which is fine. It was that'd be a 180, right? Right back on itself? No.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yes. A 180.
For the start?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, a 360 would be all the way back around. That's not right. A 180. A hairpin.
It was slick
hairpin.
enough in the first turn. You could have done
it.
a 360.
Okay. So a hairpin start, right? Left hairpin. The struggle, the challenge for that, though, was as soon as you turned left,
You went up the face of a jump.
of a tabletop, a little tabletop right there.
They
So
should
you're
have pushed us out farther.
Yeah, and made
towards
the
the back
turn.
of the
Yeah.
the single before the tabletop.
So you're like trying to turn up this little tabletop, and on the right hand side of it, you're like pushing right, trying to get up this tabletop because it's indoors and it's slippery, and you're trying to get on the gas.
You're like riding on the side of the
finish line.
The finish line.
So like,
jump.
yeah, like hoping that no one's already hitting the finish line. I mean, there wasn't that many people in there, but it was comical to try to get through the first turn. So I came around in second. The girl that pulled the start that time, I don't know her super well, but I was trying to she was on the left side of me, left-hand turn. So she was on the left side of me on the gate. She was pushing out, and I was trying to tuck in and cut underneath of her in the first turn, but she wasn't going around the first turn fast enough for me to do that, without just stopping. So now I'm stuck on the right side of her all the way up the face of this table and getting pushed into the side of the finish line. So I'm like, this wasn't what I meant to do. So, okay, so now we're racing around for, and it's indoors, so it's hard to get around her. She was jumping I think almost everything I was.
Yeah.
It's hard to get around her. So we're racing around, and it was 2 or 3 laps in, and we had 6 laps for the mains. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you're not just going to ride around behind this chick. You're not doing it. You need to make something happen now. You came here to take that AMA #1 plate home. Make something happen. This is what I'm telling myself, right? So I'm like, all right. So take off. And then I found an opportunity right before the finish line. It's a right-hand, a bowl turn over the finish line triple. Well, she went high in the berm. I had followed her a little bit, for the first couple laps. I went low in that turn and then turned up the face of the finish line, which was pretty close to the turn, so I couldn't jump it all the way, but I pushed out to take the line away from her. Well, it worked, but I don't know if she got nervous or didn't shut down or something. I didn't hit her, but she rode off the side of the finish line tabletop and crashed.
Yeah.
So after I went over the finish line and did another hairpin to come back through the rhythm lane next to the finish line, I
I was
saw,
sitting on the gate watching all this.
yeah, I saw a bike lane. They started flagging, but then stopped flagging, yellow flag, and then told me just to come to like the other side of the track, like to ride over there. So I'm like, I kind of glanced and I saw a bike on the side of the finish line, and I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I didn't hit her. Like, I would have felt it if I would have hit her or she would have hit me or something. Like, I mean,
Yeah, you didn't hit her at all.
no, I'm like, you got to kind of be prepared for that. Like, you got to shut down. Like, I'm taking the line. I'm
She
winning.
just kept pushing out, and then she just, I think, realized as she was starting going up the jump, she had nowhere to go.
Right. Well, and that was, I'm
And
sorry,
so
but
she should have like shut down and then like cut back under.
right. So that's what I was going to say. Like, I'm sorry, but that was my intent. I was taking the
Right.
line. I wanted
Yeah.
to win. I'm not going to ride around behind you for the
Block
rest.
passing.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the heat, I had pulled a gap. So, like, I knew I was faster than her, but indoors are hard to pass. I'm like, if you can just get around her and go, you'll be solid. So that was what I did. And then, of course, I felt bad because she fell down. Like, I'm sure she was mad because, it happens. But again, like, you got to make passes indoors. I didn't hit her. So then I was kind of giggling that you got hit and taken down so that Levi could win. And here I am pushing this poor chick off the track. It wasn't my fault, really. But I was
Taking
giggling.
people out.
No, I didn't. But so I thought that was, I felt bad. But anyways, and then women's moto. We're still in the women's moto. I caught up to the one girl out there. She races a 110, which is fine. But she was moving from one side of the track to the other when I was trying to pass her. Like, she was setting up for a corner. She was hitting the rhythm on the right side, setting up for the corner on the left side. And I'm on the left side trying to pass her. So I panicked because I'm about to plow into the side of her, revved my bike, I get shut down, stalled it while I'm going over it like a roller. So I'm like, hurry up, put a foot down, pull the clutch in, and try to like hit the start to get it to go. I'm like, please don't fall down. Please don't fall down. Got my bike started, got rolling again, and now I still have to pass this girl. I'm like it's hard to figure out when like someone is going quite a bit slower than you indoors where to pass them, unless it's in a rhythm. When it's a corner, it can get a little bit scary. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, trying to navigate through that. Anyways, I didn't fall down. I won. That's cool. I got my AMA #1 plate in the women's class. So stoked on that. And then it was your
35 plus.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, because I was right behind you on the gate. I got another good start in that, and me and Kenny, same thing, kind of battled around. The track was like getting slick by that point, because it had been rode on so much. So, to be honest, he just, I like kind of battled with him a little bit. I couldn't make like a pass or anything at the beginning, and then he got like just a little bit, not away from me, but like just a little teeny gap in front of me. And it was just, I wasn't feeling super comfortable on like the slickness to like push it that little tiny bit extra to make like something happen.
yeah.
So he just had a little bit on me, and he got me in that main and
It
took that dang #1 plate. But
Right.
no, I kept him honest though. And
did.
it got even a little hairy when we got a little ways into, I think we were like 3 or 4 laps in, and we started getting into lappers. I didn't mention that too in the heat race. When we got into lappers in the heat and in the main, it got a little dicey a couple times.
So there was 2 of you coming fast, and you 2 were taking different lines, and then you have some of the lappers trying to get out of the way, which meant moving into one
Lines,
of your other lines.
Yeah. Kenny got kind of screwed in the heat race the one time. The dude moved over.
Right in front of him.
Yeah, he moved. I'll give it to him. He moved straight out of the main line, but Kenny had already tried to like
Go around
counter
him.
for where he was going, and the dude moved right into him, so he had to roll the whole section. I'm like, thanks, and I just doubled on by.
Gotta go.
Yep, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of joked about it after, like how crazy it was with a few of the guys out there. But we had a good time. We had a battle back and forth. Made a good race out of it. But yeah, like I said, he just got me.
Yeah.
He was riding good.
And it's funny because, like I had said earlier, with that class for you 2, it's like 2 totally different. It was one class out there, but like 2 totally different races going on, because you have like us mere mortals at the back of the pack, like racing each other, like people that would be like normal 35 plus speed. And then you have like you and Kenny racing your own race, lapping everyone else. So like when you have that small of a track and like that different of a skill level, it's very apparent because you guys can catch back up so quickly. So it's not like they did anything wrong. Like they're out there racing their race.
No, there
too.
was like, I think at one point there was like 5 or 6 dudes in there a whole, because
they were all battling.
They were just like battling, and then it's like we got into that, and
you guys were like just circulating around them, like. So sometimes I feel that way about the women's class, and I try to be a little bit choosy where I'll race it because I don't want to go like ride around by myself. Like if there's girls I can battle with, great. But sometimes at local races, there's not always. Or then like you have like I said, like, you know.
I feel bad sometimes when I go ride the 35 plus because some of those dudes have to race against me.
Yeah, they're not always a fan.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not.
And that's why I won't let you ride the 30 class when I ride it because I don't want to get lapped. So, especially not indoors.
Yeah. Outdoors isn't so bad, but...
Yeah. But, so just kind of like figuring out like the different skill levels of classes. And there's not always like anything better you could do with it. You just have to be aware when you're racing. Age classes, and there's different skills out there. Or like I said, the women's class. So anyways, so you 35 plus, second again, after battling through everyone.
Yep. 2-2.
Yeah. So... but again, good battle, really fun to watch. And then the last main for us was my 30 plus moto, which I got a bad start. So again, I got a bad start, which was fine. Like I don't mind like passing up through people. These two dudes,
you were riding good, but yeah, you got stuck.
There were these two dudes that like anywhere I tried to go, they were like close enough to each other that they've got like both lines.
Yeah, they were in their own battle, but they were like.
So I'm like, how do I go around these guys? So the one, like, man, I kept pushing. I almost lost the front end multiple times in the same corner because, like, I'm trying to take an inside line where he was going, like, higher in the berm, and I'm, like, trying to make this inside line work, but it's slippery, and it wasn't really a good line. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm either going to pass this dude or I'm going to hit the ground. I don't care. So finally, like, I set it up, and, like, I think it was, like, the last lap. I was able to get around this one dude, and I was, like, so stoked because I didn't give up. I didn't just, like, back off of him and let him do his thing. Like, he tried the line that I was trying to make work, and I was like, oh, no, you're not going to make that work. So I took the outside and, like, ripped around him, and I'm like, see you guys. So I knew it was slippery in there. I knew he was going to get in there and be like, oh, shoot, you know? Yeah. So anyways, that one, it was fun again just because I enjoy not being stuck behind people, but I enjoy a challenge like that. I enjoy having to like push myself and stay on, you know, my toes, trying to make something happen. And I feel like it's gotten a lot better for me from like, I think we just talked about this, the past 2 years, really, we've kind of rode a lot of indoors. So it would have been, last year was 23 into 24.
Yeah.
The year before that would have been 22 into 23. So 22 into 23, we kind of started doing a little bit more indoors, and I was real like timid, and you had to encourage me to do even like the smallest jumps. Last year felt better with confidence.
We would usually like ride like a little bit of indoors, like, but like I wasn't racing or anything like that. And yeah, and then you would jump some stuff, but very little, and then. Yeah, you had a hard time like flowing around like the tracks, but that year we started riding a bunch more of it just to stay riding, and then I ended up racing Summit for the first time in a long time, and had a good time or whatever, and did pretty good, and but yeah, I got you to ride it more and kind of learned to like it because you weren't always a huge fan of it, and then like learned to like jump stuff and flow a little bit more. It was still a process.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So like even last year, I feel like just building confidence, like I felt better.
Yeah, you did good though last year. I mean, I was impressed. You jumped like the catapult at Summit and stuff. I think both rounds. So that was cool. Like that was good progress. Because like that first year that I raced Summit, I think you raced the first night or whatever, and
struggled.
Yeah, I don't think you jumped. I don't think you hardly jumped anything.
No.
So yeah, you made a bunch of progress, and then now this year, like, and being on the Honda, like You made a ton of progress indoors.
I feel like I'm able to be a lot more aggressive now, partly because I have more confidence. I'm not riding out there like super timid because we've rode quite a bit of indoors now for the past couple winter seasons.
I feel like you're like learning to like link it together.
Yes.
And like when you do jump stuff, like how much more it like flows around.
Yes.
But I mean, it's, I don't know, like I said, it's just learning to link it together and all that.
And indoor jumps are different than outdoor jumps. Like a lot of times outdoor jumps, you tend to hit with more speed and they shoot you out a little bit more. Usually the landings are kind of more rolled, so
Yeah.
it's not as particular where you land. What always gets me indoors is the fact that you jump one jump and there's usually one right after
It's
it.
immediate.
So you can't like over jump it really, or if you clip it, you're gonna bounce and basically into the face of the next jump, or a turn, and if you can't get yourself under control, you're gonna be launching off the berm.
There might be a wall there.
Might be a wall there, you never know. So like that's kind of always been the intimidation factor for me, but like you've helped me a lot. I've really learned to get the bike into the transitions better, almost like BMX style a little bit. And those things don't come naturally to me. I have to be like taught them, explained. Like once I understand in my mind, like almost like the physics of doing it, like understanding what the bike needs to do, like, okay, cool, I can do that. So it's taken a lot of back and forth, and I'm sure for you, a lot of pulling your hair out to explain these things over and over. And then sometimes what's worse is I'll get it for a while, and then it's like I'll forget or like just revert back, and you're like, no, you're doing that again. Like, come on, like this. So just a constant like it's always a work in progress. But yeah, like so between feeling more comfortable and then my gosh, riding a Honda indoors, like the way it corners, I feel like I can just put it in a bowl, get on the gas, and it like goes exactly like where I want it to go, wherever my head's looking. It just feels so good, so comfortable to ride that thing indoors because it turns so much better.
Yeah, I would agree. That's how it looks. And I was gonna say too, like since like you were saying, you're learning to get the bike more into the transition, which makes everything smoother. But it's also teaching you that timing of the tighter jumps. Like, okay, I got to get down in here, time this perfectly, so I do hit that transition. I'm not overshooting it, and then that way, yeah, you catch the next part and you're not landing deep into the pocket and then ricocheting off the next one all out of control. And yeah, you've come a long way with that. And this year, it's been good, like right off the bat, and especially at the race, I could see it. You were flying around well.
Yeah.
And then like that race too, like you said, it took you a little while in that main event, but you ended up getting that guy. But it was nice to see you, instead of just like funneling with him, you're trying to get creative and actually use different lines.
I was trying so hard.
Yeah, you could see it, but you're just kind of getting stuck a bunch of times. So
yeah, or like
happens.
he'd start at one side of the rhythm section and then he'd jump, cross over so we could set up for the turn that he wanted to. I'm like, hey dude, I'm over here. Like,
right.
And then yeah, like I'd have to shut down and not jump something. So, but yeah, trying to get creative with it, get more aggressive with it too. Like intensity indoors is something else. Like you have to kind of adjust, like get your indoor legs back. So like that came quicker for me this year. I felt like I could be more aggressive. I had more intensity, felt more confident, like even off the starts and stuff. Not so worried about getting up in with people. I know one of the races we did indoors last year, some dude took me out. I think he got a little loose. He was a little and just got into the side.
He
of me,
wanted
but
around you so bad, but yeah, he got squirrely trying to
hit
do
me,
it. And then
took
hit
me
you.
down,
Yeah.
like all the way, like his bar tangled into my arm and like rode it all the way to the ground. So I've had some experiences. But yeah, it was cool because one of my friends said something, and this was actually just this past weekend of riding indoors, that she was like, well, I don't know if this is really it, but watching you ride that Honda through those corners, you look so much faster in the corners. So I was like, hell yeah. And then the one girl that I was racing with, not the girl that fell down, different girl, at the race, said to me that she's like, you're really good at this stuff. And I was like, man, you should have seen me 2 years ago. Just kind of cool. Like other people can see it too. Like sometimes it's hard because you might feel like, like you're doing better or whatever. And then like you watch a video of yourself and you're like, maybe not. But then like obviously some other people are seeing it too. So that's kind of cool.
I feel like that.
Oh, okay. A video will make everyone feel like a turtle.
I know.
I feel like.
Videos hardly ever do justice,
Yeah.
and pictures don't usually either. I always say that you like walk on the track, you're like, I'm gonna take this sweet picture of these ruts, and then you take a picture and you're like, I mean, it looks good, but they don't look
No.
as deep as they are.
Even
and
if you
so-
go stand in it,
No.
doesn't look the same.
No.
You need, yeah. So anyways, overall, really fun race that we got to go do. We got out of there, I think, at 6 p.m. So with 400 riders indoors and having divisions and LCQs, I think that was pretty efficient.
Yeah, it was a super smooth program. Like, it ran well. I mean, they had a couple people get some injuries, but overall, like, I don't think it was too many people that got hurt or anything like that, and the track stayed together pretty well. And yeah, we were out of there at a pretty decent time. Got home, got to eat some dinner, hang out. It wasn't too late. It was cool. We had a good time. It was fun.
Yeah, and you ended up telling me after all of the back and forth and not knowing whether you wanted to race or not, before we even left for the day, you were like, I'm glad we came racing.
I was.
I'm like, good.
I just gotta get out of my own head sometimes.
Yeah, but that's always the goal.
Out of my own way.
Right. That's always the goal. You know, we pay for our own dirt bikes. We pay for all of our own entry fees, our own gear, everything. We pay for everything. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. Like, if you're not having fun, I mean, granted, there's like one-off races where something frustrating happens or, you know, you hate to see it, but you get hurt and that one's not fun. But for the majority of the things that we do, if we aren't having a good time, it is not worth it.
Yeah. I usually have to talk myself a little bit into it. Like, outdoors isn't so bad, but like, I have to talk myself into it a little bit, especially the first indoor race of the year, because I know it's going to be aggressive. Usually,
getting back into that mindset of it, like ready for it.
Yeah. Getting bumped and hit, and
you even said, you're like, I don't know that I want to go get executed.
yeah. Of course I did. No.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that bad.
I know. Like I said, I didn't get like T-boned or anything.
You did get taken out though.
Yeah.
You have marks on your fork to show it.
Yeah. I got a couple old tire marks on the fork too. Upper, but yeah, you know. No, but it was good though to race because we just rode again this last weekend and or the weekend after, and I felt like way better as soon as we got out there. Like, he had just changed the layout again, and as soon as we got out there, I ended up hitting all the big lines pretty quickly, and feeling like right at home, like feeling good, flowing, wasn't like feeling tighter or anything like that, and actually feeling really good on the 450 now. Inside, it's kind of fun after I rode it for a little bit and adjusted myself. I mean, I rode one for like, since I was like 16 outdoors, but it's like I didn't ride them too much indoors, so it's like a lot of my indoor riding, even when I was younger doing arena cross, was a lot of 250s, and I've always had a lot of fun of them. So that's why I always told you, it's like if I get in a race and stuff, I want a 250 again. So the past couple seasons I had 250s, and yeah, you had taken mine over during the summer, the Honda, and so I don't have one right now and didn't really want to buy another one right now. So we said screw it and rip in the 450, and it was fun. I had a good time.
I feel like it's like with anything. I mean, I don't love indoors just because it is so tight. Definitely like them a lot more now than I used to, but I would always say, well, I'm not good at indoors. Okay, well, you're not good until you try. So like, it's the same thing for you. Like, you've pretty much always stuck with the 250 because that's what you knew you liked. That's what you knew you were good at. Now you don't have a choice, so get good on the 450. And
right.
I mean, that's what you're doing. Now you're enjoying it more. So you're just putting more effort into riding the 450 indoors because that's what you got.
Yep. Got to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. So it's all a mind game, and learning to figure out how to work your own brain interworkings with all of that, and like be confident and almost like trick yourself into like being confident and believing in yourself. Like, really just believing in yourself is huge when it comes to riding a dirt bike. Like, you gotta believe in yourself before you're gonna make anything worthwhile happen.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So, but yeah, so anyways, that was our race recap from Route 62. I'm sure we'll be back up there riding. We have a trip south planned. So next week is Christmas. I don't know when you're listening to this, but next week is Christmas for us. So we have a trip planned the weekend between Christmas and New Year's. We're going to head south. Anyone that also wants to head south, we're probably going to spend a day at Club MX because they're going to be open that weekend, and a day somewhere else. We're not sure yet. So
Yeah, might even spend a day golfing after riding
yeah,
a couple days.
If you're looking for a reason to head south, join the caravan, the bandwagon. I think we've got multiple. I think my dad and Kelly are going to go. I don't know if I told you that.
Oh, yeah?
I told my dad today. He's like, well, that's a good reason to go. I'm like, exactly. So
there's a few other people we had talked to at like 62 and stuff. So
if anyone else needs an excuse to head south that weekend,
We're
join in on the fun.
Yeah, going to the Carolinas. Let's go.
Ooh, and we get to try our new van bed. So that's one thing that
Shout out to Eric Reese. He's done a lot of pretty much all the work to the inside of my van. And
so wait, pause. We have a Ford Transit, the high roof extended build out. Great. We have the garage in the back. It's totally separate. Our little setup in the front has our bench seat and bed.
Yeah, and I was trying to sleep between the walls.
So like from side to side, right?
Yeah.
We had a small loft area built. It was fine for me. I'm 5'4" and could like sleep head to toe, like wall to wall, which meant that it was way too short for you.
Yeah, I was like all bent up there, and I did it for a little bit.
Well, initially
we did
said,
a bunch of races.
Initially we said that would be fine because we didn't think we'd be using it a lot, like the bed.
Yeah.
But after we got that thing built out, we were sleeping in the van like every weekend, like
multiple nights,
2 or 3 nights for like a span of like 2 months, and then
I could kind of get myself like shimmied into like all right positions where I could like sleep and stuff, but there'd be like some nights I didn't sleep for crap. So
so we decided we were going to extend the bed, which meant taking up a little bit more of the garage space, just the headroom in the garage space.
Yeah, the bikes still go up under it, so you can still duck under there. So there's not as much headspace, but you can still like walk up in there and stand in there. Like you have I'd say a couple feet to the wall and the back doors. So it's not too bad, even though we took up more space. But yeah, we extended it back a little bit more. And now we essentially have the width of a queen, and it's like 10 inches shorter. So
than a queen size bed.
Yeah.
So we damn near have a queen size bed up there.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm 5'9", and I would like my toes will like barely hang off the edge. We do have a little bit of an extension on the front side of the bed too that I had put up there with some heavy duty hinges and stuff. But it's awesome. So we're excited to test that out in a few weeks here. Should be sleeping a lot better in there, and probably be doing even more traveling in just the old van. So we're getting it all set up so we can just travel around in. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has been. So we're excited to try that out in a couple weeks. Otherwise, that's all we have going on. We've had a couple questions about clinics and stuff, anything upcoming. It's difficult, especially this time of year, but I've said it before, I'll say it again, trying to find tracks that'll let us come in and train. Jimmy at Route 62 will, but trying to find time that works for him, his schedule, and our schedule. I mean, we're an hour and a half away from there, so we have to make sure we're already going to be there. If it's late, we're going to get home late, so we can't do it on like a Sunday night. So there's just a lot that goes into that. So I don't want anyone to think that we're not trying to do clinics and set up clinics. The other part that's difficult is our riding and racing schedule. Like we're going on a trip next weekend. Okay, well, I can't train next weekend. So just a lot that goes into those things that are behind the scenes. So we do want to set them up. We're potentially looking at maybe doing a week, which more like a 3 to 5 day clinic in the summertime in Ohio next year. Again, a lot going on behind the scenes for that. So there are some things in the works.
A little sneak peek on that one.
Yeah.
Not saying where yet, but
right.
We're still working out some details.
Right. So just need to keep working on those things, but definitely stay tuned. We will also do one-on-one training if you need it. I know I've had a couple girls request that. Again, just trying to set up times and things so we can meet you wherever you're riding at, especially if you have a track at your house. Like that's easiest. We can show up and train. Like if you get a group of buddies, like you get whatever the rate is for an hour or a couple hours and figure those things out.
Yeah. And I mean, even at that, like one-on-one, I mean, right now, I've been working a part-time job. So like the middle of weeks are tough for me, but like in the summertime in the past, I have been able to, like not always able to get tracks, obviously, like you're saying, to train at. But I have done in the past where I've met up people at, like a public track and done like a few hours of like one-on-one as much as we can. Don't always love doing it. It's sometimes hard when they're busy, and there's some tracks aren't always that easy to get off in sections.
Yeah,
so,
to like talk about.
Yeah, so it makes it difficult, but we do that at times. So, we are open to that as well, guys.
Yeah, if you have an idea, don't hesitate to ask. Like, we really are just trying to help as many people as we can. So if you have an idea, thought, throw it out there. More than happy
reach out to us.
Check into it, see what we can set up. The other thing I wanted to mention, we are doing our vlog again. So we actually did a vlog of the race weekend at Route 62. I'm planning on having some more content there. These are nice, obviously, for people who, like you, like to listen to podcasts. But if you watch videos on YouTube or anything like that, we are active over there again as well. Seems like we always kind of get back into that in the wintertime when I have downtime to put the videos together. But I hope to carry it into next year.
Yeah.
In the summertime.
Yeah, try to keep working on that. So.
Yeah. Oh, I really want to do, we kind of talked about this. I want to do our van, like a little YouTube video of like our van build out and stuff.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And then we want to do
like
some
a little tour.
Yeah. And then we want to do some bike builds too. Like the BMX dudes do it, and I always think it's so cool. Like they show their bike and all the parts they have on their bike. So I want to do that for our dirt bikes too. So lots to come there. Our YouTube channel is just my name, Ashley Harris 779. So go over there, subscribe if you like YouTube. Check that out. Otherwise, I think that's all we have going on for the moment.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you soon.